City of Sin, that's where we are in the Link Studios overlooking Caesars Palace. That guy right there is Tyler Fulgum. He's red hot when it comes to money line underdogs. Blackhawks in overtime over the Lightning on Friday. More today on ESPN 2 at 6 p.m. Eastern with Daily Wager. But this right here is Bet. My name is Joe Fortenbaugh. NBA playoff props. Make or miss the postseason with Nick Friedell, good friend of the show. That's coming up in a little bit. Will Russell Wilson be a Seattle Seahawk come week one of the 2021 season? And Karaoke Night, 90s edition. All on tap for today's show, but it is conference tournament week in college hoops. If you're looking for more on that, the NFL offseason, the NBA, and everything in between, check out our YouTube page, youtube.com/ESPN Sports Betting. Plenty from this guy, plenty from this guy, plenty from Doug Kazarian and the Daily Wager crew. But it's Monday. Yeah. Time for takes. I want them spicy. Are you ready?
Hey, yeah. Let's get the Cholula out.
All right.
On these bad boys.
A little reaction or no action. Here's how it works. I am going to read a statement. If you agree, you are reacting. If you disagree, no action. Number one, currently in possession of the second best odds to win the title at 3-1, the Brooklyn Nets will overtake the Los Angeles Lakers as championship favorites come April 1st.
Reaction. I think that is going to happen by April 1st. Anthony Davis is still out a few more weeks into April with his issue, and the Lakers have been struggling, although getting Dennis Schroeder back and playing has helped. I just think right now LeBron James is a little tired. He played 13 minutes in the All-Star game.
Right.
He clearly didn't want to get on the floor and use all that gas. So I think while Davis is out, it's going to be a kind of tread water situation for the Lakers. I do think, meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, Brooklyn is only getting stronger. Kevin Durant will get back. We'll introduce Blake Griffin, who if you put the prop bet on how many dunks he has as a Brooklyn Net at a half, because he had 0 this season with the Detroit Pistons.
0?
I will gladly take the over. I think you're going to see some extra juice and spring in Blake's legs like it's 2015, not 2021. The Suns and the Jazz are playing well out west. They're both surging, especially Phoenix in that very division the Lakers play in. So I can see the Lakers kind of either treading water or falling down a spot or two, and Brooklyn becoming the number one seed in the East, therefore having shorter odds. Disagreement.
I'm going to go no action here. There's a difference between being bad and being injured, and the Los Angeles Lakers are injured. I think if you're a bookmaker right now, the last thing you want to do is make the price more and more enticing on the Lakers because of the Anthony Davis injury, thus opening yourself up to a little bit more liability if all of us come jumping on the Lakers at a better price. But to your point, the Nets have 11 more games before April. Have you seen the schedule? The Pistons twice, the Magic, the Rockets, the T-Wolves, the Pacers, the Wizards. I'm not saying they're going to run the table, but they do have a big matchup at Utah on March 24th. If there's going to be a turning point, that could be it.
Okay.
And through the whole month of April, only one back-to-back. So they're going to be in a very favorable situation.
I will say to your point about bookmakers, at what point do they start taking liability on a team like the Nets if they keep winning, if those odds are, say, longer than a team like the Lakers?
What I think is crazy is the Nets are 3-1 to win the title. They're a half game back of Philadelphia, who's 14-1. 14-1.
That's crazy.
And I think they're going to make a move before the trade deadline. Reaction, no action. Number 2, Los Angeles Dodgers pitcher TREVOR BAUER, the defending Cy Young Award winner in the National League, will win 20 games this season.
Reaction.
Oh, really?
Big time, yeah.
20 games.
Okay, Dodgers win total in Vegas is 103.5.
Some places it's even higher.
So
it's ridiculous.
they are expected to win at least 100 games. So if that's the case, and Bauer does stay healthy, if he puts up the numbers he did in 2020 pitching in Cincinnati, a hitter's park, where he had a 1.73 ERA, an MLB best 2.76 ERA plus, an MLB best 0.795 WHIP, and a 36% K rate, if he replicates those numbers, or even 90% of that, with a Dodger offense that was the best in Major League Baseball last year, first in runs per game, homers, ISO, second in OPS plus, and
someone did their statistical research
cavernous
today.
park like Dodger Stadium, 20 games well within reach if he pitches like he did a season ago. Reaction.
No action. 20 games is a lot to win. It's a lot of games to win. And anything that happened last year in a 60-game season with no fans in the stands is going to give me reason for pause if it was either your best year, like it was for Bauer, or your worst year, like it was for some other guys. That's first and foremost. From 2001 to 2010, we had 34 occurrences of a 20-win season. The next decade, 2011 to 2020, that number fell almost in half down to 20. Now, of course, last year we had none because of the short season, but you're not going to get 14 more in just one season. The science of pitcher management, right? More rest, fewer complete games, fewer innings, giving guys off to keep their arms right. Plus, the Dodgers don't need to win 110 games this year to make a statement. Just get into the playoffs and they'll be fine.
But who's going to beat them if they are 100? Who's going to beat them 50 times with that offense and that pitching staff?
I have bet the under on that win total, and I'm regretting it. Not because I don't think I can win, because I don't want to sweat this out.
Right.
Every time they have a 3-game series against Colorado, it's going to be a 3-game sweep against Colorado. I'm not looking forward to it. Final one, reaction or no action. Free agent wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster will not be back with the Pittsburgh Steelers this season.
We'll see if we go 3 for 3 on disagreements, but I am going to stay consistent here, baby. Reaction to this bad boy.
A lot of reacting for you today.
I'm reacting all over the place on Monday. Reacting and acting a fool. $5 to $7 million in cap space is currently what the Pittsburgh Steelers have to work with after redoing Ben Roethlisberger's deal. Juju Smith-Schuster is likely going to command 10, 12, $13 million in the free agent market as just a 25-year-old wide receiver who has some good seasons under his belt. 2020 was not his best by any stretch of the imagination. Then you look at what the Steelers can turn to as the alternatives just on their roster alone, without drafting or signing someone in free agency. Chase Claypool caught 62 passes as a rookie, 9 TDs. James Washington, 30 catches, but 5 of them found the end zone. And then there's Deontay Johnson, who had 88 catches for almost 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns. The most expensive cap number for any of those 3 wide receivers next year for the Steelers is Claypool at $1.5 million.
That's nice.
They have good production at this position at a fraction of the cost it would take to bring back Juju Smith-Schuster. He's gone. Reaction.
All right, I am reacting as well for many of the same reasons you just laid out, so I'm not going to have to repeat any of those. Very nicely done with the salary cap and the depth they currently have. Those are all key points. I've got 2 more points for you that I would like to make. Number 1, Pittsburgh is the absolute best in the business when it comes to developing, scouting, drafting, and putting together wide receivers. Like, no one does it like that. Hines Ward, Plaxico Burress, Mike Wallace, Antonio Holmes, Emmanuel Sanders. The guys they have now.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
That right there, this guy's mind-melding with me. Antonio Brown's the key, because when Juju Smith-Schuster was at his best, he was the number 2 to Antonio Brown. And when Antonio Brown left and Smith-Schuster slid over to the number 1 spot, suddenly the numbers weren't as dynamic. Why? Because you're facing a lot of number 1 cornerbacks instead of number 2 cornerbacks. Kick and play, but we didn't even bring up all the goofball TikTok stuff that was taking place before games, but that is the generation now. No harm, no foul. All right, look at us agreeing as we roll into a little bit of a quarterback discussion around the National Football League. So we're going to move from the wide receivers in Pittsburgh to a quarterback in Dallas. Big day coming up tomorrow, Tuesday, March 9th. It is the deadline, 4 p.m. Eastern, for franchise tags to be applied for NFL teams this year. Now, Dak got hit with the franchise tag last year. To do it again this season would cost just over $37 million for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to start with this. Odds. Your percentage chance that Dak Prescott is a Dallas Cowboy after this season.
After this season. I'm going to say 79%. And that may seem high given the kind of distance between these two sides right now and coming to terms on a long-term agreement. But I just can't see many situations beyond 1 out of 5, basically, a 20% chance, that the Cowboys after 2021 look around and have a realistic, viable alternative to Dak Prescott they think is better. The only things I can come up with really are DeShaun Watson or Russell Wilson. I don't think DeShaun is actually going to get dealt this season, spoiler alert for this segment. And Russell Wilson, I can't imagine the Seahawks moving on from him as easily as it seems like they might, because there's some discontent there. I just don't think the Cowboys are going to have a better alternative. The only way I can see this happening, the bulk of that 21%, is if the Cowboys flame out again in a massive way this year and have a top 5 pick in the 2022 draft to spin on a quarterback. I don't think that's going to be the case, because I think Dak will be healthy, and when he's healthy, they're usually at least an 8-8, 9-17.
I will see your 79%, and I will raise you to 91%.
Wow.
91% chance. Here's what I see happening. He's going to get hit with the franchise tag, but that's because they're all out of time. Now, you have until July 15th to negotiate with players under a franchise tag when it comes to a long-term deal. Dallas can't afford to not franchise Dak and then put themselves in a situation where they might not even have him available for this year with all the negotiating that could be taking place. So ultimately what I think happens is he gets hit with the tag and then they commence talk on a long-term deal. Why? Prescott has all the leverage in the world for two key reasons. Number one, the second he got hurt last year, they went in the toilet. You saw his value. Right there, they went in the toilet. He was on pace to lead the NFL and set the all-time record for single-season passing yards. Number two, cost. The salary cap is going from about $200 million down to $185 million. If you give Prescott $37 million for 1 year under the franchise tag, that's over 20% of your cap. You can't afford to do that and then figure out how to franchise tag him again. They're going to give him a long-term deal. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 3-year deal somewhere in the neighborhood of $120 million or so. But he's going to be with him this year, and he will be with him next year. Speaking of quarterbacks, it's March 8th. And DeShaun Watson is still the quarterback of the Houston Texans, ... for now. Where will Watson be playing his football come week 1 next season?
Let's have a little fun here.
Okay.
You are Steve Keim, the GM of the Arizona Cardinals.
Not sure what drugs you're on,
Pick
but
up
I'm
the
Joe
phone.
Fortenbaugh.
Pick up the phone, Steve Keim. Pick up the phone. Ring. It's ringing. Pick it up.
Hello. This is Steve Keim.
All right.
Arizona Cardinals.
This is the Houston Texans, Steve. We know you have an affinity for former Houston Texans like J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins. Could I interest you perhaps in Deshaun Watson? Here's what I'd like in return. Kyler Murray on his rookie deal. Linebacker safety Isaiah Simmons, who didn't really live up to it, but was a first-round pick in 2020. Your first-round pick for this year, 21, a second-rounder this year in 21, and a first-rounder for 22. All that, and you get maybe the third most talented quarterback in the entire NFL. What say you? Click.
I'm not even answering you, bro.
Wow.
Why am I giving up a promising, young, dual-threat quarterback on a cheap rookie deal for a guy who struggles with injuries at times on a massive contract deal? And I have to give up other stuff as well?
I'll tell you why.
Out of here.
Because Kyler Murray is not near the class of Deshaun Watson at this point. He could be, but what you're doing is trading opportunity for certainty. Deshaun Watson immediately makes the Cardinals a top 5 Super Bowl contender next year.
I like
even
it.
with all that stuff traded.
It's creative. It's clever. I like it. Cliff Kingsbury's still your coach, so it would end up being a waste of talent. I'm still going to go with the Carolina Panthers. I've been pinging all over the place with where this guy's going to play. They cleared a ton of salary cap space over the last few weeks to get ready for a move like this. They have the number 8 overall pick, and owner David Tepper is new. He's aggressive. He's hands-on. He wants to win a Super Bowl. Quarterback play is how you're going to do it. With Matt Rule as the head coach and Joe Brady as your offensive coordinator, a lot of upside there for Watson, who played his college ball in the Carolinas. So he'd kind of be a little bit of a homecoming of sorts.
I will say this for Houston that desperately needs some good PR. Kyler Murray is a Texas legend from his prep days.
That is true.
So getting Deshaun Watson and bringing back someone who has that rookie contract, you can sell that to your fans and say, we did good out of this complete mess that you've made if you're Houston.
All right. Speaking of quarterbacks, the final one, Russell Wilson, believe it or not, is he still with the Seattle Seahawks come week 1 of this year? Because it feels like it's starting to get a little dicey in the Pacific Northwest.
It does feel dicey, but I got to say yes. I mean, if you're Seattle, you can't. Again, I don't understand how these franchises get to this situation, but what alternative are you going to have out there that is better? They're not picking in the top 5, okay? And there's not a free agent out there that's better than Russell Wilson. So just by virtue of there not being viable alternatives, yes, he's going to stay a Seahawk.
I'm with you. Why? I think all of this passive aggressiveness from Russell Wilson isn't about, hey, I want to be traded. It's, hey, I'm not really happy. I need you to up the team. I see what Green Bay has done with Aaron Rodgers. Nice pick on Jordan Love. He didn't play a single snap for you in the playoffs when you needed him. You needed a playoff player there. I think he looks around and he sees how Tampa Bay went out and got Tom Brady and Antonio Brown.
And brought all his friends with him.
He doesn't want to waste the rest of his years. He needs a better offensive line. He needs more help. I think this is more of a cry for help from Russell Wilson than anything else. All right. The association. Let's make some bets. Nick Friedell, NBA reporter, ESPN, generally has a strong pocket square game. Smart guy all the way around.
Oh,
is he frozen in ice?
I can tell. I was just about to ask what his pocket square game was looking like, and then I saw a fist that looked like it was frozen in time.
I was like, he looks really angry to be joining us today.
Like,
really angry.
Jeez, oh,
all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire some questions at you regarding what we're going to talk to Nick about. NBA make or miss props when it comes to the playoffs. You can bet whether or not certain teams will make the playoffs or if they will miss the playoffs, right? There are odds on something like that. The first one I'm going to be asking Nick about is the Indiana Pacers minus 195. Minus 195, yes. So you're laying a big price on that. think that one through, and let's go back to Nick Friedell, ESPN reporter, covers the NBA, hopefully not frozen in time. There he is.
There's that
smiling. And more important, he's active. He's moving. You're alive. Thank you, Friedell. All right, you know the rules of the game. We're going to throw some make-miss at you. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, first team out of the gate, Eastern Conference, the Indiana Pacers. Would you bet them to make the playoffs at minus 197, meaning you're risking $197 to win 100?
Absolutely. And, Joe, here's why. They're going to get LeVert back. He's going to help them. You know what you're getting from Brogdon, but you got Sabonis and Miles Turner, and they really seem to have fit when they're healthy in Nate Bjorkgren's system. So they know what they're doing. This is a team that's gone to the postseason before. I'm making that bet. I think the Pacers will be there in the end.
All right, team number 2. They're 19 and 18. They're the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference, and they've got everyone excited because they play defense. The New York Knickerbockers plus 106 to make the playoffs. So the Knicks getting in.
You know where I'm going here. The magic is in the work, baby. This is Tibbs at his finest. He loves nothing more than to take a team that a lot of people don't think has enough talent and get them across the finish line. Julius Randle's playing out of his mind. He's got Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson back in the fold. He's got some nice young pieces to go with some vets. I think Tibbs gets them there, and he gets them back into the postseason.
All right, Nick, let's move west of the Mississippi, although I will say there is one Western Conference team that resides east of the Mississippi. We'll start there in Memphis, Tennessee. Out west, Ja Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies, a 500 team at the break. Plus 180 is the price for you to say, yes, they will qualify for the NBA postseason. Are you taking that bet or not?
Tyler, I'm rolling the dice here and saying yes. I like Memphis a lot because I think they have such a sour taste in their mouths from last year. They thought they should have been in. They didn't get in because of the new bubble rules and this play-in system. Ja Morant is awesome. Jaren Jackson Jr. is coming back, and they feel like a team that could make a push in the second half. They've got a lot of nice young talent. Nobody talks about them because they're in Memphis. This is a team to watch out for, and I would make that gamble.
All right, we'll stay in the Western Conference, a team we've been used to seeing in the postseason, a team that Joe's familiar with, that you're familiar with there, Nick. By the Bay, the Golden State Warriors. It's basically a 50-50 proposition at the books. Minus 110 that Steph Curry and the Warriors are back in the postseason.
I'm not betting against Steph Curry at minus 110. No chance. This guy can carry everybody when he wants to. If you get motivated Draymond, and guys, here's the key to me with the Warriors in the second half. James Wiseman's got to improve at least a little bit. I think he can do that. Steph wants to deliver this team back to the postseason. I am not betting against Steph Curry. I think the Warriors are going to make it into the dance.
I bet against Steph Curry in the three-point contest, and that worked out exactly like you would expect it to work out if a guy bets against a great three-point shooter in a three-point contest. All right, let's go back to the East. Michael Jordan's franchise, the Charlotte Hornets. They're 17 and 18. They're currently the 7th seed in the East, but they're on a bit of a run. 10-7 over their last 17, plus 160 to get into the playoffs. Are you making that wager?
No. And why is easy. They play offense at an unbelievably entertaining level, which I'm not sure that's been said in Charlotte, guys, since Grandmama and Alonzo Mourning were running the show down there. LaMelo and Rozier and Gordon Hayward's been nice, except, oh, my God, that contract is awful in a couple seasons. It might be awful right now, but he's played all right. I don't like Charlotte playing defense down the stretch. I think they're a year away. I'm not making that bet. I don't believe that defensively they'll be able to get them where they need to go.
Then can I interest you in the Washington Wizards? Hear me out. They're 14 and 20. They're the 12th seed in the Eastern Conference at the moment, but they are 8 and 3 over their last 11 games, and a little bit of juicy fruit here, plus 220 to make the playoffs. Do it, Nick. Do it.
Joe, all I'm picturing in my head as you say that is some dude at the sports book in his new Westbrook Wizards jersey just going crazy every time he knocks down a shot in the next couple months here. I don't believe in the Wizards. I don't think that the magic can happen and that they can get into the play-in tournament and then win a couple games potentially. They're a fun team, but they are fun bad as far as the playoffs go. Westbrook and Beal are really good. I'm not sure if they have enough other pieces around them, and I'm not sure if I trust that group to play at a different level. I know they got hot late. I don't think they can pull it off, though.
All right, Nick, let's go back to the Western Conference. We know Zion Williamson is a treat to watch, and his game has been steadily improving. Right now, the New Orleans Pelicans, plus 240 to make the playoffs. They are in the 11th spot, though, at 15-21, 4 games out of that 8th spot. In the second half, do you think they make a surge and get in?
No. And the Pelicans have a lot of weapons. Watching Zion is fun. They've got a lot of national interest. But again, this boils down to, can this team play defense at a level where they're going to win those close games later in the regular season? I'm not buying it. I like Stan Van Gundy a lot as a coach. I think over time he will get them into a system that has them really kind of challenging in the Western Conference, but now is not that time. They are not playing defense to the point where you think, oh, well, they'll be able to turn it around to add to what they've already got. I would lay off on the Pelicans.
All right, Nick, you seem pretty comfortable betting against Stan Van Gundy and the Pelicans. Do you feel the same way betting against Greg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs? Price on the Spurs right now to make the postseason, plus 115. They are right now the 7th seed, 1 spot in front of Dallas at 18-14. Would you take that bet on Pop and the Spurs to be inside the top 8 when the season is over?
Tyler, it's killing me to say this, but no. And I believe that Greg Popovich is going to have that team hovering right there. That system is way too good. It's like a college program. Guys just know where to play. They know what they're supposed to do when they get there. But if I'm taking Memphis with Ja Morant and I'm taking the Warriors and Steph, I've got to leave somebody out. So it's not for lack of trying. The Spurs are going to be in that conversation the whole way through. I just think there are other teams that have superstar talent on the roster already, and I don't see that guy right now on the Spurs roster. That's why I'm leaving him out.
All right, I want to throw one more at you. It's going to be a bet I'm making, and I want to get your thoughts on it when I lay out the case. We're going to talk about this tomorrow on Daily Wager, 6 p.m. Eastern, ESPN2. The Toronto Raptors to miss the playoffs is plus 410. A $100 bet returns $410 on your investment. Now, they're sitting right around the 8th seed, but here's the key to all of this. Masai Ujiri, their front office wizard, his contract runs out at the end of the year. He has not re-upped with them, and there are some rumors that he might be going somewhere else. Washington, the Knicks, something like that. If he's to leave, there's a thought process that Toronto might become a seller at the trade deadline and donk off the rest of the season. That could mean getting rid of Kyle Lowry to Philadelphia or something like that. So am I crazy to think it could go in the can for Toronto down the stretch, plus 410 to miss the playoffs?
Joe, I would go small there, but I like where your head's at because it's possible. The reason I would bet against it and the reason I think Toronto will still make it into that final 8 slot is because if you keep Lowry and you keep Siakam, these are guys that have won at the very highest level, Fred VanVleet, and they are not that far away from having won that title. They are not going to want to go down going, well, we're just going to fade away now, and we're not going to care about the end of a regular season that's been difficult on a lot of people. I mean, don't you want to give Tampa something else to celebrate? Raptors will be there so long as everything stays status quo, and with the way they usually operate, I'd be surprised if it switched in a different direction.
The man with the second best pocket square game in all of ESPN, Nick Friedell, NBA reporter, ESPN, joining us here on Bet. We always appreciate it, Nick. Thanks for the time.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, let's close the show with some style here. Karaoke night. It's been a while since we've done one of these. 90s edition. Here's how it works. Songs from the Billboard Top 100 for the entire decade are on the table here for us. Okay?
90s.
Yeah, but one-hit wonders are off the table. There's
Off
going to
the
be no
table.
one-hit wonders.
No one-hit wonders.
Correct, because we're going to be getting the lyrics, the name of the band, and the year.
Okay.
So a one-hit wonder would be easy to guess in that situation. We're working as a team. 6 questions. First one's coming up. You know I don't know anything about any of this stuff, so I'm going to be leaning on you, my man. Give us the first one, please. Deep breath.
Look around. Everywhere you turn is heartache. It's everywhere that you go. Look around. try everything you can to escape the pain of life that you know. It's Madonna. And, I mean,
That's a great guess. I love
Madonna's
that guess.
catalog is just outrageously big. Is it Holiday? Is it
I have no idea.
1990? So that's pretty late.
Like a Virgin?
No, that was in the 80s. That's in the 80s.
That's all I got to offer here.
1990s would throw me because most of her catalog is from the 80s. Holiday is my best guess.
Take a shot on
Holiday's my
Holiday.
best
Survey
guess.
says.
That's not it. That's not going to be it. Vogue.
That was another one-word song, so you were close. You were close. Appreciate it. Number 2.
Gaskets.
See if there's anything I can offer on this one.
See, it's not about races, just places, faces. I think I know this one. I seen the bright. Thing.
This is how you get to the answer?
Yeah. It's Michael Jackson, obviously. What's that song?
Doesn't matter if
It's black or
white.
white. It's black or white. It's black or white. It's black or white. It's black or
Is
white.
that what we got? Look at that.
There we go, baby.
You humming it triggered
you know,
something
I
inside
need-
my
yes,
dome
yes, I
that got
just-
us that answer. Nicely done.
Great
Also,
music
knowing
video,
you
by
can't
the
sing
way.
it, so
Yeah,
nicely done from
exactly.
a professional standpoint.
Whitney Houston. Please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you. Is this Bodyguard?
That's the only Whitney Houston song I know. And even then, I don't know it.
But the movie, what was the title track of the movie?
The movie's
The title
Bodyguard.
track is And I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
This is a Dolly Parton song. That's what this is. This is a
Okay,
Dolly
that's fair.
Parton song.
I think it's fair. I think it's fair, but
All right,
we'll
so
give
we'll
Dolly
give
some
Whitney
love.
Houston
On
all the
International
credit,
Women's
but it's-
Day, we will give both these talented,
that
wonderful
Dolly
musicians,
Parton
these
song.
women, the love they deserve.
All right, what
Next.
else we got here?
MC Hammer. Fresh new kicks and pants. You get it like that. Now you want to dance. So move out of your seat and get a fly girl and catch this beat. So, I mean, there's MC Hammer.
Does he have more than one?
He does have more than one, but MC
And this is
Hammer's
not that.
best song is Too Legit to Quit, right? That's his.
Oh, I thought it was Can't Touch This.
Or Can't Touch This.
So that's probably Too Legit to Quit. I don't think that was Can't Touch This.
You want to go with?
Listen.
Let's
You
do
make
it.
You make the final call.
Let's go
I
Too Legit to
literally
Quit.
have no idea. You make the final call.
Too Legit to Quit.
Too Legit to Quit. You can't touch it.
Of course it was, yeah.
All right, let's put a bow on
Mother
this and just
Snatchers.
plow through the end of this as fast as humanly possible. What else do we have?
Back in school, we used to dream about this every day. Could it really happen, or do dreams just fade away? Then we started singing them. They said it sounded smooth. Then we started a group, and here we are, kicking it just for you. Boys to Men from your neck of the woods, Philadelphia.
Ben Franklin was from Philadelphia. I don't know what he sang in.
He invented the
Boys to
bifocal.
Men. I'm not allowed to say it. Yeah, I don't know.
Doing a little
No idea.
East Coast. Is the song name of that song Boys to Men? Is it named after them?
We'll go with that.
Is it
go
named
with
after
Go
the
with
group?
Boys to Men.
Motown Philly.
Motown
back
Philly.
again. I wouldn't have guessed that's the name of the song, but you had the right song. Motown
Yeah.
Philly. That's a good one.
All right, final one.
So I think the bet between our producer Weimer and me was that we'd go over 4.5.
I could stay away. This is
from the great movie Armageddon.
This is one of the most overplayed songs in the history of all
How?
of music. It never left
Dare
the radio.
you?
I hate it because of the overplay.
I will let you know I had my first makeout after watching Armageddon at the movie theater in 1998 with my girlfriend. So this song holds a special spot in my heart.
What's it called?
Okay. Oh God, what is the name of it? I can't sing it. That's the only way I'm gonna get the lyric. Just to hear you. God, I can't think of the name of it. Shows what I remember about that seminal moment in my life.
Hey, you had more important things going on. Your job wasn't to remember the name of the song. I don't want to miss a thing. Outstanding.
There's other parts about that experience that are more memorable than the song.
Song doesn't mean anything. All right, that's a wrap for this. Thanks for sticking it through with us on that
I went
one.
from child to adolescent boy that day.
He's Tyler Fulgum, the man. I'm Joe Fortenbaugh.
Sorry, Mom,
The
for the TMI.
Thanks for tuning in. Daily Wager, ESPN 2, today at 6 p.m. We'll see you Wednesday.